Good day, everyone. Glad to have you join us here. I'm here, Pastor Bruce Kenzel, here at Light of Christ, as I think probably nearly all of you know. And I'm here with Tim Johnson, who is our Shared Ministry Director, but also our Kairos consultant on the strategic planning and capital campaign process we're going through. And so we're here today to kind of walk with you through our kind of first pass, our first draft of some of the initiatives and capital improvements that we're looking at, and to invite your participation in that. So, Tim, I'm wondering if you can give everybody just a little bit of background about how we
Sure.
got here, and then we can talk about the path forward.
Yep. Yeah, very good. Sure, do that. Yeah, thanks for being a part of one of the Vision Conversation groups. This past year, we have sought to receive input, have conversation, pray about, kind of wrestle through kind of the core questions of, well, we're at a crossroads. What does it look like for the next 2, 3, 4 years at Light of Christ? We were really positively impacted, really blessed a few years ago when we adopted 4 different kind of initiatives, ministry or mission initiatives that really helped to give shape to some important things. So as we've been going through this little bit of visioning process, we have anticipated being able to do that again. And so this process is resulting in these conversation groups now, where we've gotten a lot of input, and we have got 5 different possible initiatives that we're wanting to kind of check out with you and get a little bit of input. So that's what this is. Each of these will be getting input through these vision conversation groups, and then we'll have yet another kind of outcome, and then that will be shared back with all of you, the congregation, in January, well, a little bit before we'll tip the cards, at our annual meeting, where we'll have an opportunity kind of for a full presentation and a chance to kind of affirm that as a congregation moving forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what we'd like to do is to introduce you to these 5 different initiatives that we've distilled from all the input that we've received. And so we're going to talk briefly about each one of them, and then you'll have plenty of opportunity with your group to talk about those more and to give us your insights and feedback. So probably the first one that we've distilled is about deepening our connections. So one of the things I think that's become clear as we went through the pandemic is how that had kind of a pulling us apart dynamic, and that we need now to work at deepening our connections with each other and with the Lord. And so we're thinking that connecting in a deeper way is going to be one of our high priorities moving forward. And so we'd like your thoughts, your input, your insights into how we might deepen those connections, and whether you really think that that is a high priority for us going forward.
And an element in that too was that they kind of had to do with both kind of the idea of larger connections, like church picnic, like potluck, those big things that kind of get us together. I think a lot of people felt a great love for those sorts of things within the church, and also a desire to have more of that. Yeah. And then also those smaller, more intimate opportunities to share bits and pieces of your journey in life and faith.
Yep, definitely.
So that's kind of all under that deepening connections possible priority or initiative.
Yep. Then the second one is to continue our healing and wholeness initiative that in our last strategic planning process we identified being a place where we're a healing community, especially for those who are having some mental or emotional struggles, that we want to be a place where there's healing, where there's conversation, where there's growth, where we do all we can to make people feel included and help eliminate any kind of stigma that's associated with that. I think the need for that kind of healing has only risen during the pandemic. That we hear again and again that the incidence of depression and anxiety and loneliness have only increased. And so we'd like to continue to deepen that facet of our ministry together. And so, again, what are your thoughts? What do you see as we go forward? How might you be involved in that? Because for any of these things to happen, it takes a whole community to make it happen. It can't just be a few people. So we'd like you to talk about that as well.
And we've really had such great work that's come out of that newly formed team over the last 3 years that has had some gatherings here, presentations, a lot of regular pieces in the newsletter, a lot of ways that has really helped us to kind of grab a hold of that and learn and grow some together. So we've just felt that's been such positive response to that. And that, like you're saying, we're not done yet.
Right.
Yep.
And it's been great to see that in spite of COVID. COVID has not made it easier, and yet we've been able to move forward on that.
Yep, right, yeah. The third initiative is expanding our invitation, our welcome, and our hospitality. Not only is this in an ongoing way just super important for everybody who comes into our Light of Christ community, that they feel that. They feel warmth, they feel acceptance, that this is a place for everyone at all different places in the faith journey, or not even yet on a faith journey. That this is a place of friendship, this is a place of care, authentic connections, those sorts of things. So it's that, but it's also recognizing the spirit of kind of very genuine outreach. An old term would be evangelism, right? Churches would kind of a part of our calling is to reach out into the community beyond for the sake of reaching, welcoming, and inviting. Part of that is that Delano has been growing, is continuing to grow. And so we believe that we are an absolutely wonderful church faith community for many. Won't be for everybody, but we want to make sure that the spirit and the invitation and the joy and the kind of the substance, if you will, the message of Light of Christ and what's unique about us is shared. So this initiative is about gathering some energy together and some people who would be a part of that. So again, a little bit of conversation among yourselves about this. On each of these, we're not only looking for a little bit of feedback and thoughts, but also we want to be inviting you. Might you have a passion for involving yourself or investing potentially in one of these initiatives? Because we don't have the staff to just lead all of these, although we will be taking some of this on, but where might you want to be involved or invested as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I think that the strongest churches are the ones with the most gifted and the most committed lay leaders. Those are the churches which are the most vital. And so pray about how the Spirit is leading you to help us live into that future that the Spirit's preparing. The fourth initiative that we're looking at is what does it mean for us to be a hybrid congregation? And, we have found during the pandemic that we've just kind of been thrust into doing things digitally that we didn't before. And it was out of necessity. But I think that we've learned that there are all kinds of benefits from that. And so one of the things we're looking at right now is how can we grow in that way? How can we use this digital technology to be a more vibrant community of faith? And we've certainly launched into that in terms of worship, but we don't want to limit it to that. And so I think the question before us and before so many churches here in America is how do we use this technology in a way that really furthers the mission and ministry of our congregation. And so we invite your thoughts about that, your insight, as we seek to be as vibrant as we can, both in person and online. And I think going forward that it's not a matter of choosing one or the other, but how do we do both well and integrate them as seamlessly as possible. Yeah. And so we'd appreciate, again, any insights, thoughts you have, but also how you might be involved in helping make us as vibrant as we can be, both in person and online.
Yeah, and we really feel like we're at the early edge of what all that looks like. Yeah. So this really is this invitation to ideas and creativity. And we know that the most obvious one is that live streaming of our worship. And we know that goal is to do it and do it well and to keep paying attention to how that can be as good as it possibly can be. We know that. And we're not, we'll invite your input on that too.
Right.
But it really is kind of, what are some of the other ways? We've had Zoom meetings and Zoom Bible studies and some of those things. We've talked about having a church app,
Right.
But what might be some of these other ways?
Right.
Yeah, that'll
Absolutely.
be huge. Yeah.
Yep.
Our fifth initiative is entitled Creation Care. And you might think about this as being good stewards. Sometimes we think about stewardship as being our time and our talent and our treasures. And it is all of those things. But boy, oh boy, stewardship is about being good managers or stewards of everything God's entrusted to us, including, absolutely, very much on purpose, the creation, right? And so we have some things to talk about there, some things to do. It's everything from recycling bins, which we have, to better practices, which we could do, to better lighting, which we've not gotten there yet, to who knows what, solar power. So that's an initiative there to say, we want to pay attention to that more than we are, and we're not there yet. But that would be something that would be to say, we know this is important. We could use some energies here,
Right.
to have that be an element of what would really help to drive some extra energies moving forward.
Right, right. And I think there are possibilities there for learning about ways, each of us can do things personally, things we can do as a family, but also then what can we do as a community of faith
Yep.
that will help care for this beautiful creation that God has given us. And I think, again, we just kind of scratched the surface on that. There are
Yep.
a lot of things we can do, and obviously we're not going to do it in a week,
Right.
but we can make a good start now.
Yep. Yeah. So all 5 of these are important. There's no question. What we're seeking to do is we're seeking to find out congregationally which ones are right at the top, because we want to choose a couple, 3, maybe 4, but to do them and do them well moving forward. So part of the paperwork that you have is an opportunity to numerically say, for you, how would you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And then collectively, we're going to answer the question of, well, where is there the most energy or passion? So that's a part of what we're inviting you to do, especially with these, and other input or feedback. That might just be writing it out. Could be maybe somebody in your group is taking some summary comments that will get back to us as well. So thanks. This is a half of these vision conversation groups. The other piece is the PowerPoint, which illuminates some of the different needs, both kind of maintenance things around here, but also some growth pieces as well, to have the facility serve our mission and our ministry as effectively as possible. So we kind of got those 2 pieces coming.
Yep. So thanks for being part of that, part of this effort and this discernment process. We very much appreciate all that you're doing to help us move forward, and we just ask that you continue to keep this in your prayers as we seek together to discern the Spirit's leading. And so thank you, and God bless you.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.